What's up guys, it's me Lori, aka Loretta Chow, the sex reporter, and this is another Miata Mondays car vlog. This week there was some controversy over this social experiment type of stunt or whatever that someone pulled. A woman basically tricked a bunch of guys on Tinder, dozens of them I think, into going on a date with her, and when they showed up, they all showed up at the same time. And she made all these declarations and made people compete for her and did like a live swipe.
As you may or may not know, my name is Natasha, and I have everyone here today to be on a date with me.
What she was basically demonstrating, I think, is the fact that people will apply these online filters based on completely random things that they think they like guys who are of a certain height or whatever, right? And those things are really superficial because you don't really know unless you sit down and get to know a person what that person is like.
Anyone under 5'10", please leave as well. No beer bellies, no long beards, no bald guys, no khakis.
So seeing that stuff play out in real life to me was just a giant live demonstration of how crazy dating has gotten in the modern age. I'm not anti-online dating. I think that it's kind of necessary with people's lifestyles these days, but we don't think and really reflect on the way that we go about it anymore. We are shopping for people based on criteria that we feel are important to us, and sometimes we're wrong about that. I can't tell you how many people I know who said, I'm never gonna date a guy younger than me, I'm never gonna date a woman taller than me, I'm never gonna date a person who does this or that or has this education level, has this type of job, and then go right back on it and fall in love with somebody who completely doesn't match who they thought was their ideal match. Our stereotypes, our misconceptions about the world and about other people usually get in the way, which is really sad and probably causes people to miss out on a lot of great connections. But that's also why I made a video a long time ago, which I'll link down below as well, about dating and why it's very inefficient to do online, because you really have no idea who you're connecting with. Just because they have a pretty face and a picture doesn't mean that you're gonna like them in person. And if you think about it, going out on a date, even if it's just a simple coffee date with every single person who's like half cute in a photo, is a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. It's not necessarily easier than just going out and meeting people naturally. But anyway, I thought that this was kind of a brilliant demonstration of all that stuff brought to life. So all the filters that we're applying in online dating and all this other stuff, what does that look like in real terms?
Swipe right, swipe left.
Which, I mean, whatever. On the surface, it's kind of funny until you consider the fact that like dozens of dudes showed up thinking they were gonna meet up with this hot chick and it was just a big prank or whatever. So, I mean, sucks for them, but also, do Tinder dates really turn out better than that?
Excuse me, the shit you just did right here, pulled a stunt on all these men who had stuff to do, it's f***ed up. You know it's f***ed up.
I think it was more of a demonstration of how crazy it is that people apply these filters, not really trying to make fun of these guys. But I think it came off wrong because a lot of people saw this video and took it as her insulting these men based on these filters and kind of took her too seriously or too literally. But it's funny because, you know, as far as performance art, that type of conversation is exactly what the goal is. You want people to be talking about these controversial things. You want people to be starting conversations about things that they don't normally question or that they've started to take for granted. And people definitely now take Tinder and online dating for granted, which is good in some ways. There's no more stigma around online dating, but it's also bad because we're not questioning our own behavior and how it's detrimental to like our lifestyle or what we're actually trying to achieve. Let me know what you guys think below. Do you think that it was super mean for her to do this? Do you think it was worth it, you know, to piss off 100 guys to make a point? I happen to actually like this video a lot better than the previous one by the same guy, which was about street harassment, following a woman around New York and documenting people catcalling her and stuff like that.
How you doing today? Wow. That's not good.
Wow.
Hey, beautiful. How are you this morning?
And the reason why I didn't like that video is because I have mixed feelings about catcalling, and this is a whole other issue that people are probably maybe going to disagree with me on. Yes, there is a culture of catcalling in certain places. It's probably everywhere, but in New York City, it's very prevalent. I grew up around it. I'm almost desensitized to it. And of course, people come here and feel very uncomfortable because, you know, men are commenting on their bodies and stuff like that on the street, sometimes in a threatening way. And the video that they made previously was about street harassment and basically calling all catcalling street harassment. And I take an issue with that. I'll explain why. The big issue that people took when they did that street harassment video is that it did show some serious street harassment, as in guys following this woman for blocks and blocks, harassing her, making her feel uncomfortable and making her feel unsafe, which definitely happens. And it also included guys who were just like, hey, good morning, or whatever, you know. And look, I'm not going to say that it's totally acceptable for men to objectify women, but I do think that if men do it somewhat respectfully, it shouldn't be lumped together with harassment. I think there is a very big difference between a man who is threatening to you and could potentially cause you harm, or whether physical or mental harm, and a guy who's just like, hey, you're cute, can I talk to you? You know what I'm saying? And I do think that the very same women who argue that all street approaches are harassment will not say that it's harassment if some nicely dressed guy in like a business suit approaches them in Starbucks and asks them how they're doing. And I think that's a double standard, and I think it's based on subconscious racism and classism, but that's a story or a debate for a whole other day. And of course, I welcome conversation about this in the comments below, but that's not really the point of this video. The people making this video obviously were going for virality. That's their specialty. In this case, I think they did a great job, and if some guys were hurt over it, it sucks. But I think whether or not you support what they did really just comes down to whether it was worth it to waste a bunch of people's time to make a bigger social point. From my point of view, most meetups with random internet strangers are not successful anyway. So it's not like these guys went out thinking they were meeting their soulmate. They were just meeting some random chick online, and chances were it wasn't gonna work out, but they were willing to pay the subway fare and show up because that's what the game is all about. It just so happens that they showed up to this one and it happened to be a social experiment. You know what? As far as memories go, that's not necessarily the worst thing to happen to you. It's not like she was only picking on certain types of guys and making them feel bad about themselves. I mean, dozens of guys were subjected to this. So I don't know. I guess I just don't see why people are so offended or angry about it. But let me know what you guys think. So yeah, I think that's it for today. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.